we have to touch on the pending World War III and the hundreds
Mm.
of billions of dollars that are being spent on a war of choice, as we're led. No, not we. This isn't like when my football team wins. This is not we anymore. I pay taxes, but I'm not owning this one. Trump is being led by his, I don't know what, into this.
I don't accept that, by the way.
What?
I just feel like there's this idea that Trump isn't responsible. He's not making any mistakes. Trump is great. There's just, these advisors around him who are getting it wrong. Trump, of course, is an infallible superhuman.
I don't think
who's
that.
great. It doesn't children at all. But right now, he has some bad, ghoulish advisors who are giving him rough advice.
Oh, I don't think that.
Why the nations do. Well, I just let's not soften it, right? When Biden's administration didn't do the Afghanistan pullout very well, everyone was like, Biden fucking sucks. When Trump starts this war of choice in Iran, he's getting some rough advice. That's
not my take. My take has been that we've been forced into this war by Israel, either by blackmail or just by positioning on the chessboard. Once they start attacking, it's Bibi Netanyahu talked Trump into something that he hasn't been able to successfully talk any other American president into ever, and he's tried every single one of them in modern history. He's tried to get them to do this thing. This thing has no end. He said he has a different take on what success and victory mean every single day. He literally said, "I'll know it in my bones." You know what I mean? Today, I can't remember which country, because forgive me, whether it's Oman or Qatar or Saudi Arabia, but the liquid natural gas manufacturing mechanism was attacked today by the Iranians, and they're saying that it'll be 5 years before that can be replaced. Iran is clearly trying to cripple the global economy. They have a game plan. Those missiles were pre-aimed. Don't think that this thing began and they were like, all right, target.
What should we do?
They were aimed and ready to go. Someone said, Plan Alpha, engage, part 1, go now. And everybody knew what to do. These missiles go to Qatar. Missiles go to Oman. These go to Israel. These go to fucking Lebanon or wherever the fuck. They were all pre-aimed at industrial, and it's clear that they are doing a tit for tat. Every time we blow up some of their oil shit or their natural gas shit, they're like, how about we blow up some of yours? And their missiles hit where they want them to hit, clearly. Maybe they're not that pinpoint, hit you down the chimney kind of shit, but it's 1,000-pound warhead. So you don't have to hit them, within a meter. You can be a little off. And it seems like they're hitting what they want to hit, because especially when they target that liquid natural gas infrastructure they targeted, I believe, today, but time moves fast. That's a problem if it's going to be 5 years before we're back up to going on that. That's heating bills for the planet are going to be up for the next 5 years.
That's why
people remember the trajectory of this war, young people, because I've been watching this my whole life now, and it's always the same. In the first 10 days or so, it's like, oh my gosh, our military is so impressive. We broke 3,000 buildings and pieces of equipment or whatever it is. Aren't we wildly successful? This thing's going great. And then time ticks on, and you realize that breaking buildings and pieces of equipment doesn't enact the change that the president thought it would, regardless of who the president is. And then the hard part comes, and fucking hasn't gone well since Vietnam.
It would go so much worse here than Vietnam. So much worse. If they ever did a boots on the ground invasion of Iran, it would be a complete cataclysm.
Are they sending the Marines already?
Yes.
I've read that. What's true?
They're sending thousands of Marines. So there's a group of 2,500 that are on the way from Okinawa, but there's more Marines that are being drawn from other places. And the talk is, Netanyahu said today that this may require boots on the ground, and you can bet he ain't talking about Israelis.
Israel doesn't fight wars in the Middle East. We do it for them. They're invading Lebanon pretty heavily right now. How many Israeli soldiers went to Afghanistan?
I mean,
how many went to Syria? How many went to Libya? How many went to Iraq?
I hear your points here, but you know why they didn't go.
Goose egg.
In any case, I'm on your side here.
We're all on the same side on this one.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. This is
You know what? You're right. You're right.
I'm not gonna stomp on any more menorahs on your behalf. Okay, you gotta calm down. Calm down.
My super short opinion is that the reason that Trump was able to be talked into doing this is because Netanyahu has the real Epstein files. I think the entire Epstein Island and honeypot was deeply tied into Mossad. And I think, people just go, oh, what does Putin have on Trump or whatever? I think Netanyahu has something devastating on Trump and quite a number of people to get this train going.
It's so much bigger.
I fucking hate it. It's so... I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Iran is a great country and they don't sponsor state terrorism and they're wonderful people and we need to keep that regime in place. But we're rolling in there with no plan, just like Israel's little bitch. Like every time Israel needs a favor, we drop down on our knees and do the lewd anime raccoon face. Oh, yes, master. What do you want from me? And we'll just go in and do their war for them.
So hypothetically, I don't think, Netanyahu's been showing that he literally pulls up like a high school science project poster board at our Congress all the time. Mm-hmm. And he draws a cartoon bomb and he shows how full it is. And when it's full, Iran has their nuclear weapon. See if you can find that photo, Zach, because he does it every 8 years. I just have this idea that like Iran, I can't imagine Iran actually launching a nuclear weapon at Israel unprovoked. I know they say death to Israel. I know they say death to America. I know they have beef, but they would have to know that would be kind of suicide. Because we all know Israel has nuclear weapons and they would use them in a counterstrike. And we might too, like depending on which president's in power. But now we're kind of putting them in a corner. We're really putting them in the corner. And this thing keeps escalating. I think the last out of the Iranian leadership was that if their oil infrastructure is attacked one more time, that they will show no restraint. I take that as they're going to very heavily target the oil infrastructure of the surrounding countries. But I hope it's not a nuclear weapon. Look, if they have any, they always talk about the 400 kilograms, I think it is, of like 60% enriched uranium that the Iranians have somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't see any reason why you can't load that up in one of those cluster munitions and dirty bomb all of Tel Aviv.
You absolutely can. You don't need
a working. Yeah, you don't need a working fission weapon.
That's why we shouldn't have fucked with Iran.
You could make each of those warheads half uranium and half high explosive, and that would do the trick, I think. I don't know if uranium would be the best material for that. Probably something.
It's pathetic how much we are Israel's dog. Israel's militaristic dog. Every battle in the Middle East, and everyone pretends that, or the neocons and the neolibs, and on CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, they're all talking about this like, oh, this is a good thing to get rid of them. No, this doesn't benefit Americans, doesn't benefit the American people.
It's so expensive.
I don't give a fuck about Iran. I don't care. It's so expensive. It's a fucking joke. They said
they dropped like 12 billion in munitions the first week, but that doesn't even come close to telling the tale of the tape. With just the fuel that's being burned by all those aircraft, and you have just the maintenance required when you put that many flight hours on $100 million aircraft, not just one or two, but hundreds of them. Mm-hmm. Not to consider the lives that were lost. And I don't know if it was true, but they said $1 billion radar installation was destroyed by Iran, like a THAAD radar.
That
thing covers like a quarter of a hemisphere on its own.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, because all these
they've lost like a dozen Reaper drones. I don't know if it was a dozen or 16 Reaper drones that have been shot down over Iran. I think those are 20 or 30 or $40 million a pop or something. I think 20.
Iran is the golden
something
goose.
Like that.
Iran is the golden goose for Israel. They made us depose Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, all of these regional influences in order to increase Israel's regional hegemony.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah. And now
their game board over, they're completely disorganized.
So many of these glib retards like Glenn Beck or Ben Shapiro or all these people who are Israel first instead of America first, they act like Iran is just another Iraq. It's not. Everyone who knows the war games the U.S. has run thousands of war games in Iran, and it's a disaster to put boots on the ground. The IRGC has 200,000 men. The Iranian military has 400,000. This is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. This is a real country.
Saddam had the biggest army in the world, to be fair. But the real issue is geography, because 100%. Iraq was this big open desert. We did that. Schwarzkopf did that big left hook using GPS technology, which was cutting edge, and moved entire divisions of tanks and APCs around the core of the Iraqi army, flanked them and destroyed them and just chewed them apart. Not to mention the Apaches that could hit that were shooting them over the horizon.
Sure,
like it was a technological advantage that was a big deal. That was 1990. The Iranians have caught up to 1990 tech.